those paparazzis. You're trying to get into my love life. All right, after that rude interruption. I could have been a judge, but I never had the Latin. I never had the Latin to be a judge. They're very rigorous, the judging exams. They're noted for their rigour. People come staggering out and saying, "Oh, what a rigorous exam." So I became a miner instead, a coal miner. The mining exams are not so rigorous. They just ask you one question. They say, "What's your name?" And I got 75% on that. I'm very interested in the work in the mine because coal was made in a very interesting way. God blew all the trees down. He didn't just say, "Let's have some coal," as he could have done. He had all the right contacts. No, he got this wind going, you see. Then over a period of 3 million years, he changed the trees into coal, gradually over a period of 3 million years. So it wasn't noticeable to the average passerby. It was all part of his wonderful scheme for the universe. But people at the time didn't see it that way. People under the trees didn't say, "Hooray, hooray, coal in 3 million years." No, people under the trees said, "Oh dear, trees following us. That's the last thing we want." And for most of them, their wish was granted. I'm very interested in the work in the mine. I'm also very interested in the universe. I'm reading Nesbitt's book, The History of the Universe and All That Surrounds It, an introduction. He starts at the beginning of time and goes right through to the present day, which according to Nesbitt was October the 31st, 1950. And he says the Earth is spinning into the sun and we shall all be burnt to death. He does it on a note of optimism. He says, "I hope this will not happen." But there's not a great deal of interest in this down the mine. That's the trouble with the work down the mine, the people. I'm not saying you get a load of riffraff down every mine. I'm just saying we got a load of riffraff down our mine. Very boring conversationalists. Extremely boring. If you want to hear things like, "Oh, hello, I found a lump of coal." "Oh, have you really?" "Yes, this black substance is really coal, all right." "Oh, jolly good. Exactly the sort of thing we were looking for." Hardly the sort of thing to keep the mine alive, is it? I was talking to another miner down the mine the other day, and I said, "Do you know Marcel Proust?" And he says, "No, he must work down another mine." I've written a book on my experiences down the mine. It's called My Experiences Down the Mine. It's about this man who sees a lump of coal, he throws it in a trolley, and the trolley wheels away down a long dark tunnel, never sees it again. It's a very short story. It's an extremely short story. It's also extremely boring. I fell asleep the first time I read it through. It was so boring. I took it along to a publisher friend of mine, and he too said it was very boring. In fact, he said it was one of the most boring stories he'd ever read. And he's not a man given to superlatives. He said, "The main trouble with your story is that it lacks everything. You name it, it lacks it. Above all, it lacks the sex element, which is so vital in these troubled times. So I've added the sex element. The story's the same, except while the mining is going on, there are these 3 nude women dancing about, enticingly. These 3 nude women, Beryl, Stella and Margaret, have come down the mine to have a bit of a dance. It's picked it up no end. I can scarcely put it down. That's the wonderful thing about being an author. You can put in as many nude women as you like. My next book is called A Million Nude Women. It's a mining story. It's about these million nude women who wander about the desert looking for a place to sit down. And one day, the leader of the nude ladies, Beryl Winston, spots a disused mine. "Come on, girls," she shouts. "Here's a disused mine. Let's rush down and dance about." So all the nude ladies rush down the mine and dance about, uninhibitedly. They dance about for 4 days. It's unparalleled in mining history. On the 4th day, the frailest of nude ladies, Stella Jarvis, falls down exhausted. "Oh dear, I'm exhausted," she says. Then the leader of the nude ladies, Beryl Whittington's, spots the follies of their ways and says, "Come on, girls, let's go back up to the top of the desert." So they all go back up to the top of the desert and wander about. And that's where I leave them. I'm not quite sure what the point of the story is. I think it has something to do with the meaninglessness of life or something like that. At least that's what I shall say should a policeman come up and ask me. I shall say, hello, hello, hello. He should say, hello, hello, hello. What's all this here then? I say, it's got something to do with whoops. Did you notice I suddenly went whoops? It's an impediment I got from being down the mine. Because one day I was walking along and suddenly I saw a dead pit pony. Whoops, I went in surprise. And I've been going whoops ever since. And that's the trouble with being a judge. Because there I'd be, sentencing away. I sentence you to whoops. And the trouble is, with our system of justice, that would have to stand. Also, being a miner, I've always been after the trappings of great luxury. But instead, I've gotten hold of the trappings of great poverty. So all in all, I'd rather be a judge than a miner.